All right. I think I'm poised to bring this information to clear the air on the trending matter about the federal government on tax ID requirements for bank accounts. In recent days, news has been circulating that the federal government has made it compulsory for every Nigerian to get a tax identification number, which is the tax ID, before they can open or maintain a bank account. And this information has actually stirred some measure of confusion, fear, and anxiety among citizens, especially among the people who are unemployed, like the students or the low income earners who do not have taxable incomes. Now, to address these concerns, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, the chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee, has made it clear that the new directive does not actually apply to every Nigerian. And according to him, the new rule is specially for taxable persons and businesses, not for ordinary citizens who do not earn taxable incomes. And in a detailed explanation shared on his official X Twitter handle account, Oyedele stated that the recently passed Nigerian Tax Administration Act, the NTAA, only brings together several existing tax rules into one law for better coordination, and it does not create new taxes or new burdens for Nigerians who are not required to pay tax. I'm going to be with you shortly after this timeout. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back once again, still on course. And part of what it says that Oyedele was that banks and financial institutions are required to request a tax ID from taxable persons. However, individuals who do not earn income and are not taxable are not required to obtain one. And in simple terms, if you are a salary earner, a business owner, a self-employed professional, or someone who earns any form of taxable income, you are expected to have a tax ID. But if you do not have any source of taxable income, such as students or unemployed persons or dependents, then you are not required to obtain one just to keep, or open a bank account. So then the background and purpose of the new tax policy is that the Nigerian Tax Administration Act is a new law that aims to simplify the country's tax system, and it builds upon earlier reforms, especially the Finance Act of 2019, which first introduced the rule that businesses must present a tax identification number, which is called a TIN, when opening or operating a bank account. And over the years, Nigeria had multiple identification systems: the TIN for taxes, the NIN for individuals, the CAC for registration numbers for companies, and then the BVN for banking and so on. And this created confusion and duplication. The NTAA now seeks to bring all of these identifiers under one harmonized system called the tax ID. And according to Oyedele, the tax ID is going to help the government to close loopholes that allow some taxable individuals and companies to avoid paying taxes. So it would also make it easier for businesses to register, to file taxes, and also operate across government agencies without facing unnecessary bureaucracies of the government. So, what the new law actually says is that taxable persons must have a tax ID, and this includes businesses, companies, self-employed individuals, and anyone earning taxable income. Then, secondly, ordinary citizens without taxable income are exempted. In other words, those who do not earn money or fall below the tax threshold, they are not affected. Thirdly, banks must request tax IDs from taxable persons. And this means that if a bank identifies you as a business entity or someone who earns income, they may ask for your tax ID during account opening or verification. Fourthly, your existing NIN or CAC number can serve as your tax ID. In other words, you do not need to go through another registration process if you already have a national identification number, which is called the NIN, or your company is registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission, which is the CAC. Then number five, your existing TINs tax identification numbers remains valid. Anyone who already has a tax identification number can continue to use it without any problem. Like I have mine already, you can also have yours. Then obtaining a tax ID is also free. There are no charges or fees for registration. You can get it online through the official tax authority website or at any tax office across the country. Then ensure that you avoid scammers or touts. The tax ID is not a physical card. It's just a unique number that is linked to your identity, and therefore Nigerians should not pay anyone claiming to issue tax ID cards or assist with registration for a fee. Now, how the tax ID actually works. The government is introducing a harmonized system that links your identity across agencies. So for individuals, your NIN is going to serve as your tax ID, and while for companies, the CAC registration number is going to be used. For instance, if you already have a NIN, your NIN, you do not need to apply for another separate tax ID. It automatically becomes your unique tax identifier. And similarly, if your business is registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission, the CAC, your CAC number becomes your tax ID for business transactions and tax purposes. So this integration makes it very easier for the government to monitor taxable income and simplify compliance without burdening citizens with unnecessary paperwork. Then finally, the impact on banks and financial institutions. Banks and other financial institutions are being directed to request tax IDs only from taxable persons. This means that banks will not deny services to individuals who have no taxable income. The primary goal is to ensure that businesses and professionals who earn taxable income are properly registered in the system. So the new rule also helps to tighten loopholes that allow businesses or individuals to use multiple bank accounts to hide income or avoid paying tax. Oyedele Taiwo explained that this is part of the government's broader effort to make Nigeria's tax system fairer, simpler, and more transparent. And he further stressed that the aim is not to make life difficult for citizens, but to build a more organized structure where every taxpayer can be properly identified. So what Nigerians should know and what they should do: if you earn tax income, make sure that you in other words, if you earn taxable income, yes, make sure that you have a valid tax ID. Then if you are unemployed, like you are a student or you are a dependent, that means you are dependent, you are not required to obtain one. So do not panic or rush to obtain a tax ID unless you fall into the taxable category. Then be careful of fraudsters who may try to exploit the situation to claim that they can help you get a tax ID card. The tax ID is only a number and not a card in the first place. So if you already have a NIN, a national ID number or CAC number, that's enough. It will serve as your tax ID. So then, if you need to obtain one, it is free. All right, it's free whether online or at any tax office. I know some people will still be asking me, how do I get it? I just mentioned that. I just mentioned that. All right. So, for Nigerians in diaspora and non-resident companies, the law also applies to foreign companies doing business in Nigeria, as well as Nigerians in the diaspora who may have financial or investment interest in the country. Such individuals or entities can obtain their tax IDs using their national ID number or relevant business documents. Government-owned enterprises and public institutions are also included under this new harmonized system to ensure that there is accountability and transparency in all sectors. On the final clarification to this, Oyedele has emphasized that the introduction of the tax ID should not cause fear or suspicion. The government is not creating new taxes or enforcing unnecessary restrictions on the masses. Instead, the goal is to modernize the tax administration system and reduce the confusion that is caused by multiple identification requirements. He reassured Nigerians that no one is going to be denied access to their bank accounts simply because they do not have a tax ID, unless they are running a taxable business or earning income that falls within the taxable range. And in his closing remarks, he actually said that the new Tax Administration Act is designed to simplify life and not to complicate it. So Nigerians who have no taxable income have nothing to worry about. All right. Good. So, okay, let me just wrap up things right now. In conclusion, the federal government wants Nigerians to understand that the tax ID requirement is not for everyone. It is only for people and businesses that already earn taxable income. Ordinary citizens who are not earning are not affected, and your name or your CSC number is going to serve as your tax ID. So existing things remains so valid, and no payment required to obtain the tax ID. Avoid scammers claiming to issue tax ID cards. It's just a number and it's not a card. The essence of this policy is simplification and not punishment. The government is simply modernizing the tax system to ensure better coordination, accountability, and fairness, and while protecting ordinary Nigerians from unnecessary stress or exploitation. You need to get this message clear, and I believe I'm making sense. Thank you very much. This is Prince. In case you're new to our channel, kindly subscribe and hit the bell. It's not only about grant we are here for. Don't forget, a lot of persons joined us here when we were doing the cryptocurrency and other stuff. There was some other stuff like the what's it called now? A lot of things here. A lot of things brought a lot of people here at the same time. But it appears like the grant seems to be predominant. So sometimes when we inject other stuff, don't push it aside like it doesn't matter. This now concerns you, all right? So do the right thing while it matters. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Do have a nice day.